everybody, this is Alessandro. Today I want to share with you 5 tips that's going to help you improve dramatically your acting for your video reference. All right, so one of the things I notice when sometimes I talk with my students and stuff like that, and their reference tend to be very repetitive. The way they act and everything tends to be very repetitive. So the very first things you guys can do is definitely change your first pose when you start your reference. What do I mean by that? Imagine you have a character, it's gonna start in position, it's gonna be leaning like this on the wall, right? And from that position, it's gonna start the acting, following the dialogue, or maybe just pantomime, whatever it needs to do, but it's gonna start always from this position. The problem with this is that if you always start from the same position, psychologically, all the acting that you're gonna do later on, they all tend to look quite similar, right? Instead, why don't you try yourself to force to change that initial position? Maybe instead of leaning left forward like this, could be sitting on a chair with his feet is in the air. You could be like leaning on a wall like this. It could just standing on a pole or whatever. You know where I'm going with this, right? Put yourself in a different starting position for your reference, or could even be better, in a different environment. Okay, you will realize as soon as you change your starting position, immediately your acting will be affected. It will be a lot different rather than you always start over and over in the same position. Second things you can do, guys, is try to use a prop. All right, maybe just rather than doing an acting just like this on your body, see if there is any prop that you can interact. Again, it could be a wall, could be an object, could be your glasses, could be a book, could be, I don't know, you're cooking something or whatever, right? Try to implement a prop in your acting, because you will realize it will start to make your reference a lot more natural. All right, and again, just to keep in mind, guys, doesn't mean every time you do a reference, every time you do an acting, you need to use a prop all the time. Okay, it's not that the character constantly needs to have something in his hands and move it around, but explore this idea. Okay, start to realize if there is the potential for this. Okay, third things, what about rather than your character standing or sitting and doing his acting, what about is already in motion? For example, let me give you an example. Maybe he could walk around. Okay, maybe he's going somewhere, right? And maybe he's going there and he's talking to someone else with a voice off camera. He's talking over his phone. He's playing with his phone or whatever, right? Again, his acting could be dictated by the way he's walking and is moving around. Okay. Another things he could do, it could be maybe reading a book. Someone else walk in, talk to him. He changes his attention from the book to the person. Maybe he close the book for a moment, respond to him, then open again the book, go back to study, but the person interrupts him again. All right, you know where I'm going with this. You see, overall the acting here can be a lot more interesting, or maybe again could be someone cooking. All right, think about it like maybe you're cutting some food, whatever. And so your character is actually busy doing something rather than stay there and playing his line, waiting for the moment to say Chuck and play the lines, right? Again, if you're putting your character in a situation where he's already doing something, the acting will be a lot more believable and a lot more interesting. There will be a stronger base that will support your acting. Okay, 4 things. Think about it. Who is the character that you are animating? And I'm talking about physical appearance and personality. All right, is this a kid, a teenager, an old man, a woman? Is tall, short? Okay, what is his physicality? Because his physicality is supposed to affect his acting performance. All right, the way a little kids will move around is going to be completely different from an old man. All right, you know where I'm going with this. Other things that is very important beside the physicality, it is his personality. Okay, I'm gonna give you this example. Let's go back to the cooking one. Okay, where maybe you're cooking, you're chopping some food and everything. What is the personality that is doing this one? It's someone very chaotic, right? So for example, it's chopping things very fast, you know, it's moving, put it from the board to the plate and takes another object, put it here. Everything is getting very dirty. The plate is all over the paste. The way he moves his body is very chaotic, very dynamic, right? It's like chaos in his mind, right? Or maybe could be a character like, and I was thinking about Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad, right? Where he's very composed, right? It doesn't move much. It's like, you know, maybe it's chopping like this on the food, then it's very sharp movement to put the food on the table, then he put the board on the ground again, take something, he clean it, he take another piece of food, you know, and put it there, and he chop it. It doesn't move a lot, right? And everything is very sharp, organized, right? And as you can see, completely different acting performance, even though both of them are doing the same action, are cooking and chopping food, right? So again, completely performance that is telling you a lot about the character, all right? And the last things that you also have to think about it, what is the mood of this person? Is it angry? Is he upset? Is it very sad, happy, whatever, right? Because these will affect his performance, right? Let's go back to the cooking one. Imagine the crazy one that is cooking. How would it be if it's really angry, for example? Like maybe he's gonna do very sharp movement with a knife, you know, like very aggressive movement, you know. Or maybe he's very happy, so it's movement almost for the rhythm of a music, right? It does still maybe bigger movement, but rather than being sharp and strong, maybe could be more of having a bigger arc, because it is happy, it's taking things, putting here, boom, boom, right? It's taking this object, putting them here. It's more about a bigger arc rather than sharp and strong movement, right? Same one with could be for the second character that is like Gustavo Fring, right? Again, if it's more upset, it's try again. He needs to compose himself. His personality still needs to be the same. So you have to think about it. How about a character like Gustavo Fring will try to control his anger, right? So maybe he's still gonna compose and do this, but maybe his movement is gonna be very sharp and fast, like boom, boom, right? You know, this kind of stuff, right? Again, maybe the intensity will be faster. His movement would be bigger, but maybe you know, like it won't change overall. Maybe at some point there is a pause where it does everything and it's like, he's trying to recompose himself and then take something else, right? Or maybe he's very happy, he's listening to some music, so he's still doing the same composed idea, but maybe his movement this time are shorter, are lighter. He's doing something following the rhythm of the music, right? Maybe he's whistling at the same time, right? Again, could be a lot of different ways to explore it, but the important thing is that you need to be able to portray the way he feels and maintain his main personality, his main characteristic, okay? Because you cannot just say, oh, it's angry, now it's gonna go off character, it's gonna do something that it makes no sense, right? So that's the difficult part to do, right? You wanna keep the personality and involve how he's feeling in that particular moment, okay, guys? And I feel like if you're able to keep all those 5 elements in consideration, you're gonna improve your acting a lot, and it's not gonna look any more generic. It's gonna look all the same when you're doing 20-30 reference that tend to be all the same, right? You're gonna see a drastic improvement in your reference. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you next time. Ciao.